Welcome to the Gear Slum, your one-stop shop for all things Gear Slum.
I'm Phil.
And I'm Cole.
You slum it hard so you don't have to.
Phil was just promising us, as soon as you go, I'll be ready. And then
I never
wasn't
said,
ready.
as soon as you go, I'll be ready. I said, go.
He just said go. He didn't
Yeah.
promise he'd be ready.
I didn't say I would be ready. And also, Aaron did not give me the correct cue. That was very...
I did. The
Correct.
cue is, I'm Aaron.
No, you went...
And then what did I say after that?
Okay.
I don't even...
So, I am a part of a weird Christian religion, just like the two of you. However, there's a distinct difference between our religions, in that one of them cares deeply about avoiding anything having to do with witchcraft or the occult in any way, and the other one doesn't at all seem to care.
Less so now, but definitely like in the 90s, 80s,
Well,
and 90s.
Yeah, like it was like Dungeons and Dragons. Like you guys, if you wanted to play
my
that,
understanding
would your
as
parents
growing up was that if you played Dungeons and Dragons, you would likely get demon possessed and possibly murder someone on an airplane.
Oh, I was going to say...
is that what happened
get
at
demon
9/11? Is
possessed.
that what caused 9/11?
Oh,
Yeah.
sure. Yes.
Were those guys?
Those
They were playing
those
D&D?
19
Terrys?
dudes, they were totally into D&D. Way into
They took
D&D.
role playing too seriously.
No, I remember because there was the story that these 2 or 3 guys were doing it D&D and they got too into it and then they ended up enacting it in real life, and they killed someone because of it. I don't know.
Right. Yes.
Yeah,
But
the
one I heard was...
I don't know, okay, call me crazy, but I think some people have killed other people in the name of Christianity at some point in history as well.
Yeah, but that's not billed as a game, is the thing.
Yes. That demons
it's
created.
it's the world's most dangerous game, Christianity.
Yeah, depending on what side you're on. That's true. Okay, the one I heard, Aaron, and also Cole, is if you play D&D, you will get possessed by demons.
Yeah, that's definitely always part of it.
And then the demons will tell you to kill yourself.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they'll make you go jump off a cliff, just like it did with that pig or whatever. In the Bible,
Yes,
right?
there you go. Right.
Okay.
So I heard recently in a podcast here. So there was D&D is scary, blah blah blah. But then what happened was, Cole, this is gonna be very inside baseball, and I'm so glad I get to be the one to tell you. There was a dude who wrote a book called This Present Darkness.
Oh, yeah, Frank Peretti.
Now, this book, Cole, is a work of fiction this man wrote about a small town that is tormented by demons.
Overrun, you might say.
Overrun by demons.
It's lousy with demons.
And
yes.
the Christians are
The heroes.
interacting with demons in a tangible way.
Yeah.
Now, a couple things about this book. One that I just learned recently. One, Amy Grant was on tour, and at every tour stop, she was saying, "I'm reading this book, This Present Darkness, and I love it so much." And then there's this sharp incline of book sales from Amy Grant's tour. So her kind of single-handedly putting this book into prominence. She is basically responsible for that. But now it's kind of baked into evangelical culture.
Yeah.
And you could argue QAnon, like there's a through line that goes from QAnon down, and that it like directly cuts straight through that freaking fictional book.
Did you read it? Did you ever read it?
Yes.
I read it too.
It was never presented as being fact in any way.
No.
But
People
Christians
thought
are
it was
so,
like some
Yes.
historical fiction.
Well, it's like
or
this is
Well-
not real, but it's based on things that really
something. It's
happened.
gonna happen.
Yes. It's just like Left Behind. You're aware of Left Behind, the Left
I'm
Behind
familiar with
series.
No Child Left Behind.
Oh, cool.
So
The
there
Left
was-
I don't know
Behind
what
books.
Left Behind is.
The Left Behind books are the same deal, in that it is fiction, but
Or it's like God. What's the No Gods Among Us? Or what's the Gods Must Be Crazy? What's that movie that they came out with a sequel with a couple years ago?
God's Not Dead.
Yeah,
That's
God's not dead.
That's not the same.
But it's fiction, right?
Well, God's Not Dead
it's
is
like this-
fiction.
But it's the same thing where it's like they're trying to scare you into. Well, I guess
Sort
no,
of.
That's more about like just Christians being Christians or whatever.
It would
Yeah.
be more along the lines of like Close Encounters of the Third Kind, or like what's that movie about the guy that like gets kidnapped by the aliens? You know what I'm talking
Right.
about?
Yes.
The light. What's it called? Fire in the Sky.
Yes, Fire in the Sky. It's like
Yeah,
that.
That movie. That
Okay,
movie messed
except
me up.
Fire in the Sky is based on a book, and the author claims
Yes,
that it really
yeah,
happened
that's
to him.
true.
Yes. Okay.
But it would be like if there was another movie like telling a similar story. It's like
Right.
it's fictional, but
It could happen.
people
It was-
believe that it happens.
Yes, and
So only
this
like the
is-
specific details are fictional, but the generality of it is real.
Yeah. It's like
Aaron, do you
historical
remember
fiction.
this?
Yeah,
Do you
it's
remember this
historical.
about-
It's supernatural fiction,
I was-
historical fiction.
I did not remember this. There's a couple things about this present Piercing the Darkness. There's two of them.
Yes,
This
this present. There's three of them.
Piercing the Darkness? What are we talking about here?
Piercing
This
the
present
Darkness, this present
darkness, Piercing the Darkness, Prophet.
Oh, okay. I thought
I
it
hope
was
it's
this present darkness,
PROFIT. And it's just like
Piercing
they're
the
just
Darkness.
like shamelessly.
and then just like railing the darkness.
Yes.
Ooh.
Okay.
Is Piercing the Darkness the one that's about Sedona? A lot of stuff happens in Sedona.
I don't know. What I know is one, if not both, the evil people that are allowing demons to take over the town are the college professors.
Oh yeah.
So,
Dude,
I
like,
do remember that.
that is insane.
I know. exactly, Cole. Exactly. And get this. Every Christian, like good stand-up Christian character, when they're like making too much headway for God or whatever, a young woman accuses them of rape.
In the show or in the book?
In both of those books. In both of those books.
No
But falsely?
way.
Yes, falsely accuses them of rape.
Of course.
And that, like,
Because they're
if
like
you
trying
think
to
about-
condition you to not believe women. They're basically trying to condition you to not
I did
believe
not
higher
remember
education and not believe women, which
Yes.
is jacked up, dude.
Yes.
Frank Peretti was hailed as a sanctified Stephen King.
Ugh.
Right. Yes.
What is the book? I don't think it was this book. There's this book that I read several of these books when I was a kid. Like similar. There was this other one called Dead Air. Do you remember? Did you ever read Dead Air?
Dead air.
So Dead Air
Dead
is a
Air.
Dead
Are you
Air.
talking about
Dead Air
Ariel?
is a book by this guy named Bob Larson, and it's about a radio host, a radio like talk show radio host, who gets sucked into like this cult mystery thing, secret cult mystery, when a girl calls his show who's been kidnapped, and there's lots of like demon stuff in this book too. There's also a sequel called Abaddon, in which people worship some demon called Abaddon.
That actually sounds pretty interesting.
It's
Based,
not great,
based on
but
just that synopsis. I kind of
I'm sure it's pretty good. I mean, it's probably fine. Let me see. Christian book about Sedona.
Dude, that's honestly like that is very troubling.
Yeah, this present darkness.
That like so many times in the book
Is it this one?
people were falsely accused of rape. Like that.
Yeah, that is weird.
That is so
And
messed
nobody
up,
at the
dude.
time in the early 90s or whatever, nobody was like, hey, this is kind of problematic, don't you think? No, nobody said that. They're like, oh no, the Christian pastor's getting accused of
These
rape.
poor men.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dude, I hate that.
Isn't that wild?
That's really jacked up.
That's really
Okay,
I did
so-
not know that. I do remember like
That's like
the professor stuff, but
so what was your but okay, but then over time, like let's say Harry Potter comes out, and by
Yeah.
that point, were most Christians like it's fine, and the ones who were up in arms about it, you guys were like, those guys are the weirdos, or was it the other way around?
it's hard to say for me because by Harry Potter I was kind of older, so I don't think it was as big of a thing. But I do remember like in middle school, some book that we were supposed to read, I was not allowed to read because of witchcraft. So like my mom went to the school and like fought for me to not have to read this book. I have no idea what the book was.
I wish
So
my
that was like
parents
in the
cared
like
that much
early
about what they
90s,
did.
I guess. But I do remember
think
like
my parents knew what
Pokemon. People
books I
didn't
was
play
reading.
Pokemon because they thought Pokemon was Pocket
That's
Demon. Yeah, Pokemon
Yeah.
was demonic
Well,
apparently.
it's monsters. It's right in the name.
Yeah,
Pocket
I
monsters.
think part of Pokemon was that it came out like that. So there was Dungeons and Dragons, right? Which then Magic the Gathering came out, and like that was tied to Dungeons and Dragons somehow because they're like
Yeah.
fantasy games. So then when Pokemon came out,
Well,
it was like
literally
even the
magic. You're
artwork.
casting spells.
it was like a card game. So
And
they're
the
like,
artwork for I could see like
Oh.
Magic the Gathering. Just looking at the artwork,
Yeah.
would make you think that.
so they're like, oh, this is a gateway drug for kids to get into satanic card games like Magic
Yes.
the Gathering.
You're being groomed. You're
Yes,
being
that
groomed.
was the narrative.
What about Digimon?
Yeah, Digimon
They
was
were
also
like,
bad.
nobody cares about Digimon. We don't need to worry about Digimon that much.
But yeah, Harry Potter, people did not like Harry Potter when it came out because again, witchcraft, like kids weren't allowed to read it.
I too.
Isn't it
was,
funny that like at different times, Harry Potter has been canceled by both sides? At
Yeah,
one point?
yeah.
yes,
That's one of
funny.
my favorite things.
It is a great thing.
Well, I like to imagine like Christians defending her now.
Right.
Like, no, you can't.
Because
cancel it.
Exactly.
It's
because
like,
they're
you are-
anti
Yeah.
cancel culture. Yes.
Yeah. We
Yeah.
can cancel, but you can't. Don't
Well,
cancel. Well,
It's not because they're anti-cancel culture. It's because they're anti-transgender. Let's be honest.
But
Yeah,
they
yeah.
say that they are. That's what they're like. The
Exactly. Yeah. Totally.
cancel.
Goo.
Cancel this culture. Meh.
which culture?
How about council?
Yeah, cancel
culture?
witch culture.
Ooh,
That's
good.
what they would say.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Dude, I wasn't allowed to celebrate
And
Halloween
then you'd
when I
be
was
like,
growing up.
witch culture.
I remember
couldn't-
celebrating Halloween as a child because we would dress up as a kid. And there was
Yes, as a
probably like
small
a
child.
7 or 8 year period in which like it was not a thing that we did.
But did you call
No.
it Night of the Dead?
No, we
Was
would
it
just
like
like
in,
not. We would not trick or treat. We did not dress up. We did not have decorations.
Yes. When I was a small child, my parents let
Were
me.
you a Jehovah's Witness and you just didn't know it?
Basically. But Cole, are you familiar with harvest festivals? Because what the
Yeah,
churches would
like-
do,
You
is
go to like a pumpkin patch and ride around on a haystack.
No,
or
but check
whatever.
this out.
No.
what the churches would do is they would have a harvest festival on Halloween, and you could dress up for the
at
harvest
their
festival
church
at the church.
on their campus,
Yes. But you can't celebrate
I love
Halloween.
that.
They have
or
costume contests and everything.
I love
Or-
that TikTok from last year where that lady was like, "We don't celebrate Halloween, but we like to get dressed up in costumes and go trick or treating."
Yeah,
It's fun.
exactly.
I was like, "That's
Or
literally what
it was
celebrating Halloween."
it was harvest festival or trunk or treat.
Yep, trunk or treat came later.
yeah,
for
trunk
me,
or
but-
treat. Trunk or
Or-
treat is a thing. I think
or
that's like
Cole-
a fairly common thing now, though, because
I think
it's
trunk or
like-
treat is just like don't go to strangers' houses kind of thing.
Yeah,
Well,
because
but
they're
see,
gonna have
the-
needles inside of apples or whatever.
Yeah, 'cause-
but like my every trunk or treat experience I've had is in a church parking lot, like, and then instead of people's houses, it's different cars that
Yeah.
have their
It's just like a
And-
controlled
yeah.
environment to trick or
Right,
treat.
exactly.
But what I'm
Yeah.
saying is that like trunk or treat also exists at like your kid's preschool or something like
Yeah,
that.
trunk or treat
Okay.
That
isn't
just wasn't
inherently anti-Halloween.
That just wasn't what you experienced.
Okay. That's fine.
Here's kind of a weird thing because we would do like Halloween parties at our church, and we would do like you could like trick or treat around to like all the classrooms in the church, and then they'd have like carnival type stuff going on in the gym, and it wouldn't be like on Halloween but around Halloween. But there was always a rule that you couldn't wear masks,
Yeah,
and I never totally understood that.
that's a
I don't
fairly
think it
common
was, like,
rule at like even like at school
Even, like, at
carnivals
school.
and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
School, it makes sense.
It's just some like you're just not allowed to hide your face.
But think about this. Now they make you wear a mask.
I
Now
know.
who's the sheep?
No, I thought about this the other day because, well, I thought about it multiple times, but I was reminded of it the other day because I was at Target and there was like this group of like 15 teenagers
Yeah.
and they're all walking around like in hoodies with their hoods up and their masks on. So like they're almost completely obscured faces. I'm like, oh,
Yeah,
dude, this is like totally normal now. But if I saw this like a year and a half ago, it would have been super weird.
Yeah.
I was
you would've
thinking
been
about that this
It's
summer.
like, what are these kids up to?
I walked into Lowe's one time with sunglasses and a mask and a hat on,
Mhm.
and it's like
that
any
guy
other
famous?
time you'd think that I was going in to rob the place or something.
Yeah, yeah.
Dude, if you're Tom Cruise right now, you
Mhm.
can go into any
Yeah.
like you just said, just ball cap, sunglasses, and just a normal face mask, and no one would know
Yeah.
who you are.
You don't
Yeah.
even need sunglasses. If you had a hat and a mask on, I bet
Yeah,
you wouldn't be
yeah.
that recognizable. I mean, he's covering his most recognizable trait, which is that weird tooth right in the middle of his face. You know?
Touche.
That and the nose, like between those two things.
So one more thing,
Yeah.
because I know some of our viewers are going to comment on this if I don't mention
for
it.
the Burnigans at home.
Yes. So there's Harvest Festival, there's Trunk or Treat, but for the very, very homeschooly, far right
Yeah.
Burnigans.
Mhm.
Aaron, do you know what I'm gonna say?
No,
Okay. See, Aaron comes from a.
I wasn't listening that intently, but
because Aaron's.
You're about to explain something that they would have done on the Duggar show, right? That they definitely
Probably
would have
not.
done for the Duggars.
The Duggars were LDSers, weren't they?
no, they're
No?
quiverful.
What are you
Quiverful.
talking
that's
about?
right. That's right. Don't get so offended, Cole.
No, but
There's
they're like
15 of them.
yeah, but do you think that any of my people live their life like that?
Some of them do, especially if you swing a TV show in front of them. Hey, listen, I'll jump through any kind of weird hoops if you give me a TV show.
Freaking lunatics.
Is
that what you think I am, Phil?
No, not you, Aaron.
Am I a
Cole.
joke to you?
Not you.
No. Okay. The third and weirdest option was Reformation Day. Celebrating Reformation Day
Oh yeah, yeah.
and making Reformation Day be like the thing that you're partying, which happens to be October 31st.
So remind me exactly what Reformation, like what
It's
what
super
event that's
dumb.
celebrating?
So
But
it's like it's Martin Luther's
Luther-
birthday.
Oh, okay.
Martin
So
Right?
it's
Luther-
not like when he actually nailed the things on the wall or on the door or whatever. Was
Is
that
it his
Martin
birthday
Luther?
or
Or
is
is
it
it
the
that?
day of the
It probably is that day.
95
Theses.
precincts?
The 95 Theseus.
the feces?
More like 95 feces, am I right?
Yeah. He lit it on fire on the step of the door.
He
Just
called the
knocked
shit
and ran.
poop.
Guys, you'll never believe what I did. Yes, it is the day that he did that.
Martin
thing.
Luther was the original meme lord. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Mhm.
Dude, that was such a troll move that he
Dude,
did that.
it's total troll, man.
He was like freaking Aaron.
Dude,
He was a word twister for sure.
it's like freaking Tom Green. Who was the other Tom Green?
My
There were
bum
two
is on
Tom
the car.
Greens.
My bum is on the car.
There was
Two
the
Tom Greens.
Yeah, there was another Tom Green.
I'm
Remember that?
Googling who else is Tom Green.
Hey, Google, tell me about Tom Greens. Okay, so that Okay, but what's so bonkers about that? What are you doing at that thing?
Are you talking about the Tom Green, the polygamist?
No,
Oh crap!
he
My
never
Google
would talk
actually
about
woke
that.
up when I said that. Hey Google, shut up.
Yeah, there was this guy named Tom Green in
Hey, Google.
2002
Stop.
who went to prison.
That might be who I'm thinking of actually, because that was
In
like
Utah.
2002, so it was right around that
Yeah.
time.
In Utah.
Oh, check this out. Tom Green,
North
a polygamist who
Utah.
promoted his lifestyle on
That
television.
doesn't mean he was a Mormon, you freaking bigot.
Oh, it gets bad too. Until he was convicted of bigamy and then raping a 13-year-old girl.
Ugh, yeah.
Has died of COVID pneumonia.
Oh, good.
COVID
He
pneumonia.
was
Why,
72.
why do you got to call it COVID pneumonia?
That
That's what
must
it
have been
says.
written.
It says COVID-19 pneumonia.
That was written like last March when people were still like figuring out what to call it. You know.
This was written.
The
COVID
Kung flu.
This was written 5 days ago.
What? No, it was not.
Yes, it was March 3rd, 2021.
Who calls it COVID pneumonia?
Has died of COVID-19 pneumonia. That's what it says. The
I've
Salt Lake.
never heard
This
that.
is the Salt Lake Tribune.
Which is like the popular.
Did they call it the plandemic?
Is it like
Died
USA
from the
Today?
plandemic.
The Salt Lake Tribune is like one of the two major newspapers in Utah is owned by the church. So
this is the other one.
that is not. Yeah.
His
Died.
legal wife and two of his plural wives confirmed his Sunday death in a brief phone call Wednesday with Fox 13.
Good.
Oh, this is weird. This is a weird sentence. Green began marrying in 1970
Ugh.
and had 10 wives overall.
Wait. He only has 3 now, but he used to have 10?
Yeah. Well, I think some of them like
COVID pneumonia.
You can't claim that you can have more than one wife
Hey,
and divorce
hey.
them.
I don't think it's that they divorced them. I think it's that they realized that a lot of them were in like abusive situations and they like took off.
So 7 of them are like, hey, I think this is a really bad gig.
Yeah, I
And the
think
other
some
3
of
are
them were like grew
fine
up
for me.
in polygamous sex and then sex
Whoa.
with a CTS at the end.
Say it
So
again.
then once they were like older and they like realized what was going on, they like pieced out. You're like, that is not for me. This guy is awful.
Not great.
He's
I'm
like, okay.
outta here.
He says, will you marry me? And they're like, yes. And he's like, okay, I do.
Where-
Okay, now you say it. And she goes, I do. And then he goes, okay, now look, these are my other wives. And they're like, wait, what?
Hold up.
Hold
People-
up.
People are very impressionable in all ways, in many
Mhm.
ways. There are many sides. But it's crazy to think that I don't think there's anything particular about these people. There's not necessarily some like gene, deformity that they share or something like that. Like these are all probably relatively normal people who were able to be like convinced to do something that was so obviously terrible,
Yeah,
Isn't that fascinating?
it is. People do
'Cause,
crazy
what
stuff.
can I convince people to do that's terrible? That's what I'm thinking.
There's this show that my wife watches called what's it called? Death
Bachelor.
Among Friends, I think.
My weird.
Oh, it's
weird
called
Strange
Murder
Addiction.
Murder Among Friends.
Okay.
Yeah, it's called Murder Among Friends, and it's all about like people who like commit murder, but like in groups.
Yeah.
And so it'll be
It's
like
safer that way.
it'll be like 2 or 3 kids, like they come up with like some plan to like commit
Yeah.
a murder.
They're just,
There was
they're just playing D&D. Just
Well,
hanging
no,
out.
but
Is that really
but the whole thing
famous?
is like they talk about it. They talk about on that show a lot how like if you're planning a murder like alone versus planning it like with another person,
Yeah.
you're way more likely to follow through if you have other people involved because
Totally. It's the same.
nobody like
Gosh,
you kind of
it's
just like
so
keep prodding each other
troubling.
along
I mean, it's like the
and
same
like
thing with
no one
like
wants to back out.
accountability on the positive side.
Yeah.
It's like the more accountability you have, the more likely you are to follow through on something.
It's reverse accountability.
Super, though. So it's
It's
like-
actually not reverse accountability. It literally
just
is
It
accountability.
accountability.
is. It's just
Yeah.
like
Something
towards
bad.
something.
It's just
yeah.
dark.
And that's
screwed
like
up
how
accountability.
powerful like your I guess like the super ego, like you're just thinking about what other people are thinking of you so much that it just
Totally.
Ooh,
forces
so
you or
here's
like
trouble.
makes these things so much
It's
easier.
really
to do.
weird that we found this subject through this method, because I was literally thinking about this today, and I was thinking about, because we've talked about this before, that I think
Is
one
this
of
a
the
true crime
dangers-
podcast now?
No.
Oh,
This show.
yeah.
I was
The
thinking
Gear
like
Slum. Is the Gear Slum a true crime podcast?
her arms were cut off, her legs were cut off.
Oh my gosh.
So the we've talked about before how like one of the scary parts about social media or the internet in general is that it exposes you to a much wider audience, and so you can find people who believe any crazy thing that you might believe.
Yeah,
a little
yeah.
bit, and so it's like in the old days,
There might be like 10
There-
people across the country who share
Yeah.
this belief, but they all find each
so
other.
you never would have found them. You would have just been like, I'll just go be a football fan or whatever. And
Yeah.
But now you find them. But there's a positive to that too.
Yeah.
Like the fact that this podcast exists, or the fact that you have all these specific, and I was thinking about it today, because I was thinking, okay, we grew up at a time where all of your hobbies you kind of had to share. So like, and especially like older generations, like Phil's generation, you're the greatest generation, right, Phil?
Dude, can I
You're
take a
part of-
sidebar? I was trying to think about how old Phil is, like legitimately the other day, and I'm like, I have no idea.
Aren't
could
you
be-
like 40,
He could be
41?
15 years older than me.
I'm 43 years old.
Are you?
Okay.
43 years young, Aaron.
See, I was trying to think like, is he as old or older than my older brother?
You're
You're
basically
older.
like Clint's age.
You buttholes. All you do is talk about how old I am, and you talk yourself into believing that I'm.
Yeah, dude. We Stockholm syndromed ourselves into believing that. Became
And
so
you
comfortable
played off
with
of
this
each other.
lie. Yeah, dude. That's it. Like, you're lucky we
Because you
didn't
both
murder
listened to
Phil.
each other's lies.
We murder among friends, Jew.
Yeah, dude. You just got murder among friends, did. So I was thinking, like, the reason that got me thinking about this is because I saw a
The
video.
reason is
featuring-
because
what had happened was
I knew this guy who would say, well, you see, is because
That's good.
Oh, that's my favorite thing. That is so good.
What was
You
the
see is
Aaron? What was the
because-
thing that your old boss used to say that made you laugh, and then you're like, "Oh, he's
he
serious."
would say, what else? All right, what else?
What else? With a T. ELTS.
It's like, I'm sure he had a speech impediment or something.
What
but
else?
now I feel
Okay,
bad.
so I saw a video featuring the song by the artist Powerline
Okay, yeah.
from a Goofy movie. And I was like, man, this song is so good. Stand Up.
Seeing it eye to
Eye to
eye.
Eye. Eye to Eye was the first one I saw. But both of them, both Eye to Eye and Stand Up, are both amazing
Mm.
songs. And I was thinking, like, okay, I know this isn't like the best example of this phenomenon because that movie was very popular.
Yeah.
But I'm just like a 37-year-old man, unironically like jamming to this, cartoon character. And legitimately it's a good song and everything. But like, I wouldn't have, like, there's no way in high school I would have like driven, through the parking lot with my windows down blasting Powerline or
Powerline.
whatever,
Yeah. Yeah.
But like now with headphones, you consume a lot more stuff that you would probably have been embarrassed to consume back in the day.
Yes.
And like,
Yes.
I know headphones existed and Walkmans existed, but like, you couldn't have everything at your fingertips all the time.
Yeah, you had to like buy the tape or something.
And I guess that's just like a guilty pleasure or whatever, but I think it's healthy. I think it's like good. And so this is my question. What are some things that are like very uncool to like that you unironically like? Like Nickelback would be a good example if I liked them. I don't hate them like people do, but I also
Yeah.
don't really like them,
Yeah.
But like they're the perfect example of like you're not even allowed to like them anymore, Or Creed even. Like I actually like a lot of Creed songs from that
Whoa,
first
whoa,
CD,
whoa.
from the My Own Prison. A court is in session. A verdict is in.
Is that the one where he's like,
Should have been dead on a
Sunday morning, banging my head.
is that the one where he's like, oh, I'm thinking of human clay.
Dude, they actually like a lot of the guitar sounds on that record are really good. And Creed does have like their guitarist is like very famous, right?
Yeah, Mark Tremonti.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, he's like the.
Is he the
PRS
guy that then played with
Alter Bridge.
Evanescence?
I don't know if he ever played with Evanescence.
He might have like played part time with them or something.
Wait, was he in that? He was in one song, maybe? No, that was someone else.
Maybe I'm getting it wrong. There's somebody that the guitar player for Evanescence that like when I looked it up, I was like, wait, what? That guy? That guy was that band was that guy?
Wait a minute, that guy?
Y'all hear about this guy though? Huh.
Am I
think
wrong?
you're.
I mean, the new guitarist for Evanescence is a woman. So that's not what you're talking about.
Are you thinking of Ben Moody or David Hodges? Or Rocky Gray? Oh, what?
Should have been dead on a Sunday.
Dude, I didn't know Rocky played drums with them. Rocky Gray was in that band Living Sacrifice. You remember them? Dude, Living Sacrifice is probably like the best Christian metal band.
Okay, maybe that's where I was getting it mixed up.
He was a drummer, but then he was a guitarist, and then he played drums in Evanescence. But that's probably not who you're talking about.
Maybe it is.
So what are some of your guys' other guilty
The dude from
pleasures?
Seether is in Evanescence. One of my probably Jeopardy is my biggest one.
But that's just like because you're old and nerdy.
But I've been watching Jeopardy for like a long time.
What was the question?
You're trying to twist this into something that's not actually guilty pleasure. That's like something you would be proud to like.
Okay, but it's
Don't
not
twist
like
it.
everyone's like, you watch that show.
No, but
it's like yes,
Aaron,
because I'm so intellectual.
That's true.
Yeah, but Aaron, you would if somebody
Like,
said,
I'm
"Hey, I
talking
got you
like
a
freaking
T-shirt
The
that
View
says,"
or whatever.
Yeah, if somebody said, "Aaron, I got you this T-shirt that says Jeopardy on it," you would wear
that's
it.
true. Yeah, proudly.
So guilty pleasure means you would not wear the T-shirt.
Maybe like musicals.
Yeah,
I really like musicals.
I love
like
musical.
Wicked. I love
Broadway.
Wicked.
Yeah.
And
Seen
you
it
would not
twice.
wear a T-shirt that says Wicked on
Look
it.
to the west.
But that's I don't. I
Did
feel
you see
like
that guy. Did you see that guy who sang that on TikTok? He's
No.
done a bunch of other TikToks. He has like an insanely high voice.
And he's got like
I'll
long
send it to you
hair,
'cause it's
like gingery looking.
He has like a blonde beard, yeah, and long blonde hair.
And the thing he's doing with his eyes, he looks like he's blind, right?
dude.
Maybe, yeah.
You
He's
just
like,
reminded me of one of my
he's very
favorite
expressive.
videos. Remember that one with a dude who's like, "The Wicked Witch of the East, bro."
Yes.
That's great.
she came down in a bubble, Doug.
No dog.
And for years I thought it said she came down in a bubble dog, but he's
does
actually
say
saying
dog.
Doug.
Wait, what? No.
No, it's Doug because one of the guys' names is Doug.
Oh no.
I've researched this video extensively, and my favorite part is he says, "I'm gonna stab him," and he actually pulls out a knife. The big guy when he's going. Why are neither of you reacting to this? Aaron, pay attention.
Sorry, I was watching the video. She
I'm
wore a
listening.
crown and she came down in the bubble, Doug.
Get educated.
Are you kidding me?
And
You're
her
gonna look
sister,
at me and
the
tell
Wicked
me
Witch
that
of the
I'm wrong?
East.
Her sister was a
She wore a
witch.
crown.
And what was her other sister? A princess. The Wicked Witch of the East,
The Wicked
bro.
Witch of the East.
Oh, it's so good.
It was a game of headbands, I think. 'Cause he
Oh,
was
is
trying
that
to get him
what
to
it was?
guess? Yeah, he was trying to get him to guess, and he said princess, and the argument was like, "That's not a
it's
princess;
hilarious.
it's a witch. It's the Wicked Witch of the East."
Yeah.
Or whatever, you know. Oh my gosh, that video is so good.
She wore a crown and she came down in the bubble.
Down in a bubble. I'm gonna stab him.
Good.
He gets
All right,
out
say
a
your
full
thing.
knife.
Go back to your thing.
You see this thing go?
Or were you? What was I ignoring you saying earlier?
Yeah. What were?
Oh, just that. The part where he says he's gonna stab him is very
Oh.
entertaining.
Oh, yeah.
Because he actually pulls out a knife and like flips it open.
Oh, but what I was gonna say is, I almost feel like guilty pleasures almost don't even exist anymore. Like for the reason that you
Totally.
said, like,
Yeah.
That's true.
because you just get so
and
used to
also
like
because
every
it's
weird
like-
thing you're into, someone else is into, that it's like
and then you
whatever.
don't feel bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Like guilty pleasures would have been like freaking murder podcasts, and now that's like the most popular
Yeah.
genre of podcasts.
Yeah,
Like
Right?
true.
it's weird to say
Or
this.
it's also cool. Like it's cool to be the guy that is into something that's not cool, you know? Like My Little Pony culture that came out.
Yeah,
what, 15
or like
years
comic
ago or
books. Obviously, is like a huge thing. Like
That was the one I was going to
Yeah.
say.
That was-
yes.
nerdy when I was in school. We were in school,
was-
but now it's like,
Yes. Like it was
what does that even mean?
freaking heard of to like during like, okay, everybody take out your personal reading, and for a kid to take out a comic book, like that kid would have gotten freaking destroyed
yeah,
at the junior high I attended,
Yeah.
the year I attended. I literally like, no, I never ever would bring
84.
90, 91, maybe.
you were in
92.
eighth grade in '91.
I graduated high school in
So
96.
you graduated in 90. You graduated in 97
6.
or 96?
Okay,
96.
I graduated
Yeah, so you're the
eighth grade
same-
in '96.
We get it. You're young.
I'm so young.
So you're the same age as my brother Carl, the one who doesn't listen to the podcast. So screw him.
Oh man. So yeah, that,
Yeah. So they don't exist like they used to.
and I would even say here's the weird thing about Star Wars. At the time, Star Wars was not cool. When I was in junior high, it was not cool to like Star Wars or talk about Star Wars.
Yeah, yeah,
No. But that's because it was largely just like nobody knew about it at that point, right? Or just like
No, dude, like
it wasn't because it was actively uncool. It's just 'cause
Yeah.
nobody was talking about it.
because there weren't even like the prequels hadn't even come out yet.
it was.
Yeah, like Star Wars basically disappeared, and then the prequels came, and it has never left since.
But I remember when I was in high school, I read a Han Solo book,
Novels, yes.
Yeah.
Look
And
at this freaking nerd.
exactly.
and I
So
loved
nerdy.
it. But I was like,
There were novels, there were comic books, and it was a very
wanna give both of
nerdy
you-
thing.
I want to give both of you wedgies right now.
you can't.
Okay,
You
so
can't
here's
because you haven't had your
something I
shots
just
yet.
thought of. Here's a difference between then and now. It used to be that if you had a guilty pleasure, like the social pressure surrounding it would just keep you from engaging in it at all.
Yeah,
Mm.
And now you engage in it in private or in public, but like, you know, I picture somebody who like wouldn't have watched anime in the 90s, or that's a bad example, but you know what I'm saying. Like you wouldn't have been rocking out to some musical theater.
yeah.
thing in
Unless
the
you were like
car.
lucky enough to like find the one friend that you could like share it
Exactly.
with.
Which is
Yeah.
why like the nerdy, like whoever, band kids or theater kids or
Yeah.
whoever, probably grew up to be healthier adults because they actually
Right.
did the things they wanted to do instead of doing
Yeah,
the
true.
things that they thought everyone else wanted them to do, you know.
Mm.
Whoa.
Like that was like a big trope, like in '90s teen movies too.
Yeah.
Like the jock kid who's like into singing or whatever.
Totally.
Oh, like in American Pie, like when he joins the Glee Club and he's like, "Oh, I
Yeah.
actually kind of like it." It's like, oh,
Yeah,
okay,
and then his dad's like, "You can't like it.
you can't sing
I didn't go to Vietnam, so you could come home and sing."
acapella.
Is that what the dad says?
More
Or
like
is it just
Aka, get
ridiculous?
the hella out of my house.
Out of my house.
I don't know. I don't think there are any
Yeah, that
parents
is like,
in that movie,
and like,
except for Stifler's mom,
yeah, that is.
which is
Could they
also
have
weird
chosen a more-
because doesn't one of the kids like end up having sex with her at the end of the movie?
Yes, that is literally where the term MILF came from. was
Well,
that
I knew
movie.
that, but
Made
I
it up.
couldn't remember like if it was ever like
It had to have been.
consummated
Is that really?
in the film.
Is that really true? That is where it originated?
Yes.
That's
It at
crazy.
least like popularized it.
Okay, so speaking of, I just finished the final season of Workaholics, and
What happens in that season? What are some of the things?
well, what the last episode is they're given a web series, and they become famous.
On Workaholics.
Yes,
Yeah.
they become famous because they have a web series where they party because
Oh
they're
my
sponsored
gosh,
by
that's
some
hilarious.
weird energy drink,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
so
Like
they're-
Four Loko, but not Four Loko.
basically, yeah.
Basically,
And
yeah.
so they become super famous because of their web series, and then all of their behavior becomes like just like normalized.
Oh,
in,
that's
like,
hilarious.
in culture, and there's like these normal people that they're interacting with in public. This woman, she just looks like somebody's mom, and she goes, "Hey, I'm really just sorry to be such loose butthole right now, but could you move your car?" And they're like acting like totally normal. Like she says it once, and then somebody else says something about tight butthole, and it's like the fact that they just put that in and made it not like didn't draw attention to it. It was just like put in the normal.
That's pretty great.
Is the
That's so
funniest
good.
thing, and it's exactly the same as MILF. It's like that is like the fact that that's on T-shirts.
Everybody,
maybe not.
everybody knows that phrase now.
Yes.
Loose butthole. It's so stupid. It's so funny.
They literally, I saw it in an interview. They said they came up with a phrase. They were like, if we get famous, what do we want junior hires to be yelling at us if they see us on the street?
Exactly.
And that's how they came up with that.
That's
We
funny.
want them so messed up. So
You are
messed
being
up.
so loose butthole right now. Man, that show is very good.
The show is very good.
That's not
Their
even a guilty
podcast, you
pleasure.
guys. Their freaking
But that
podcast.
okay, so this is actually a great example though, because like I can't talk to anybody at my office about Workaholics, you know,
True.
or like most of my neighbors, I'm sure wouldn't be into it, you know.
But that's not because that's not the same.
I know it's not this. It's not because it's nerdy. It's because it's like inappropriate or whatever.
Right.
Gun Street Wiring Shop represents a brand new approach to the guitar wiring market. From their nothing is impossible philosophy to their community first attitude, Gun Street Wiring Shop is the premier maker of guitar wiring harnesses. Based in Central Oregon, Gun Street only does one thing: make your guitar sound and play better. Bored with your standard switching? Gun Street. Need more options? Gun Street. Looking to nail that classic tone? Gun Street. You want to try something that's never been done before? Gun Street. Sean's always coming up with new circuit designs. He's always down to make something special to fit your exact needs. So hit him up now, gunstreetwiringshop.com. Turn your SG into an OMG, your Les Paul into a More Paul, your Telecaster into a Telestar Blaster. And as always, members of the street crew get an extra discount at everything at gunstreetwiringshop.com.
The best is like, have you guys ever seen Trailer Park Boys?
Mm-mm.
It's
No,
like
but I feel like we talk about it every other episode.
that's
Not?
bullcrap, first of all. But my dad is way into that show, so we'll like joke about it when we get together, but we have to like talk about it in a way that like most everyone else can't hear us, you know. My dad and brother are both into that show, but nobody else in our family is. So we're like, oh,
That's funny.
remember that line? Yeah.
Which brother?
So we're Clint,
Oh, yeah, of course.
patron of the podcast, patron saint of the podcast.
Yeah, Clint, the witch brother.
He's a witch.
The witch brother. He's a warlock.
Witch Brothers
He's a
sounds
Wiccan.
like a super dope show.
Witch
But
brother?
when was it made? Because if it was made in the 90s,
Witch Brothers.
Wh-
They go around with their like supernatural powers, solving crimes. It's like the Hardy Boys, but
or is like brother, does brother take the other meaning?
Or is
Yeah.
it just like, it would be just like, if it was in the 90s, it'd be like just two guys who like find witches and murder them or date them or something. You know, we're the witch brothers.
like Wedding Crashers?
Yeah, it's like
murder
Wedding
them or
Crashers,
date
but
them.
just like Wedding Crashers, but they just crash like Wiccan ceremonies.
We only we crap.
Bro, it's the equinox.
Dude, Wiccans are so easy. It is
Yeah.
such a great
That's
gig.
the other stereotype about like, you know, band kids or theater kids or whatever, is that they're all just like doing it all the time.
Bunch of horn dogs, which is
Yeah,
probably
'cause
not
they're always like
completely
making out in
untrue.
the halls and stuff.
And they also just like go on a lot of trips together and stuff.
Yeah.
Mm.
And they're like up in the rafters and it's all dark up there or whatever, you know.
Yeah, I also remember like I was in
The
band
stage
for a
crew.
year.
To the back room of the
The
school.
crew. Yeah, exactly.
When we would do like football games and we had to like get in our uniforms, you would just like come in your regular clothes and like everyone's just like changing in like this giant closet.
Yeah, you'd sneak a peek, right?
Yeah. I mean, all the guys would be like a guy's closet and a girl's closet, but you know, there's crossover.
You sneak a peek, see what you guys packing over there. Sneak a little dong peek.
No.
What did you play in marching band?
I played so I played clarinet first, and then I moved to trombone because I needed more trombones.
Yeah, now we're talking.
Well, so no, here's what happened. I played I played drums like in junior high, and then I started playing clarinet because it was more fun. But then I started playing trombone in jazz band because I needed trombones in jazz band. And then when I went to high school, I played clarinet, and then I played bass clarinet in concert band, and then I just moved to trombone completely because it was just my friends played trombone. So that was it. That's what happened.
So you're like a musician.
Oh, yeah. I also played violin for a while when I was a kid.
Is the bass clarinet just longer?
Bass clarinet is the same. I think it's even like the same key, I believe. I think they're both in B flat, but
you don't B flat when you play,
which is weird because like instruments aren't actually in different keys.
I guess it's just the open note. Like if you were to play everything open, that's what note it would make or something.
Yeah, maybe.
Because is it chromatic or is it like set to a certain?
No, so they would like write different music for you.
They who?
I'm sure.
Like
I'm
music,
sure there are people like
sheet music.
Screaming.
Sheet music is different depending on which instrument you play.
Explain that to me, Aaron.
So here's an example. So a clarinet is in B flat, is a B flat instrument.
I know what he's saying.
A clarinet is a B flat instrument.
Good for you, Phil.
But other instruments are like a C and okay. Let me see. Saxophone.
But like the staves are the same, right?
Okay, but like
no.
Wait, am I oversimplifying this? It's this, right? It's like the orchestra is playing chords, right? No one instrument is playing chords, they're playing notes. But the orchestra together is making chords. So that's why they need different notes.
Well, yeah,
no,
they have different music
but listen
for each
to this.
Instrument.
Look, a clarinet is in B flat. This is what it means. That when you play a C on the score, you're actually playing a B flat.
Okay.
So it's written as a C, but when you play it, it's a B flat.
So it is actually a different note.
Yeah.
That's weird.
And then like alto sax is in like E flat. So when they play a C, it's actually an E flat. So they actually have to then write different music for each instrument so that you're playing the right notes to play together.
I guess the point is that you could switch between instruments much easier. Right?
I guess, but I don't know if you could. Like you still have to learn all the notes because all the fingering is different.
That seems like it's more complicated.
It does. I don't know why it's that way.
That's weird.
It would be like a guitar is in E to E, right? That's standard tuning. It would be as if like you would play a C, but it would actually be the open E. But on the music, it would be a C.
Yeah.
But so then you couldn't just take piano music and play it on guitar. You couldn't take like the sheet music for a piano and play it on guitar because it would be in a different key.
It would just be transposed slightly or whatever.
You could. You just couldn't play it along with someone who's playing the piano.
Somebody else, yeah.
Yeah. So you'd have to like have transposed music for your instrument.
That's weird.
In order to play in band. So when you're playing in like marching band and stuff, you have to keep the different instruments' music organized because if you played music for a different instrument, you're going to be out of key with the rest of the band.
Yeah, because like Phil said, you're also playing different parts. It's not like everyone's
exactly. Yeah.
it's not like everyone's even playing the same note, so that's like
Right.
so confusing.
But you're going to be like a semitone off or something.
Yeah.
It'd be
Semitone.
wild.
Semitone.
Anyway, so I played those instruments. Oh, so that was the weird thing because I'm pretty sure trombone is in C. So when I would play trombone, it would be just like it would be normal. So whenever like you would tune, you have to know what note your instrument is in so that you could then play the note and be like,
Yeah. The whole
the whole orchestra together. Super weird.
That's way weird. That's
It's
crazy.
odd.
I wish I had done band.
I only did it for 2 years because I did not care for my band director, because he was like super uptight and I was not, and he didn't like me, which made me not like him.
That's a bummer, but that's like common, I think.
Which also sucked because so you had to do 2 years of PE, right? I think, or 3, I don't know. You had to do PE, and you had to take PE your freshman year no matter what. But if you were in marching band, you didn't have to take it any other year.
because
But because
marching.
because
you're marching?
that's
There's
your
nothing more
PE.
P than
Yes, that
marching.
was your like physical education requirement. But because I dropped out of band, I then had to go
Arm.
back and take PE my senior year,
That's right.
and it freaking sucked. So I took weightlifting, which
Yeah,
is like
dude.
the most HJ class imaginable.
Dude, you weren't just listening to Limp Bizkit. You were. Never mind.
And we literally, I remember we had to like walk.
Living it.
So like the gym, where like the basketball gym, where like the
Yeah.
locker rooms were, was separate. The weight room was separate. But to get to the weight room, like the quickest way was to walk off campus and like cut across a block and then walk back onto campus. so we would always like walk down this alley like on the
Like
way
your
there.
Sweaty gym shorts or whatever.
Yeah, just like cause shenanigans. And like I remember smoking cigarettes on the way from the gym to the weight room.
For PE class.
Yeah. Oh, it's so dumb.
Dude, I actually liked weightlifting class though.
I loved it too.
What did you
Like,
learn from it?
I almost failed.
I mean, honestly, like I know how to use every machine in a gym. You see those videos of people like making fun of people in a gym because they don't know how to use a machine, which is messed up. First of all,
That's
'cause
true.
they're just trying to learn.
Yeah.
But I can go in and I know how to use every machine in a gym
You know how I learned how to use those machines?
YouTube.
through common sense.
I watched other people use it, or I looked at the
Yeah.
pictures on the freaking
You look
side.
at the little diagram. They didn't
Yeah.
have those, Phil, back in my day.
Okay,
you
did it
learned how to use the
facing this
machines
way.
the same way Daniel-san was trying to learn karate from a book. You're just like,
Exactly.
Yes.
I learned it through waxing on and waxing off.
yep. But I technically got an F in that class because I just would screw around the whole time.
Because you weren't swole enough.
But the teacher was like, he's like, I don't want you to fail a class your senior year, so I'm just gonna give you a D so you can graduate.
Total bro.
You total bro.
Are you doing the total bro system?
I was doing, yeah, it was the total bro workout system.
90-day total bro plan.
I can't imagine how I failed
See, I
smoking cigarettes. And
yeah, this is shocking. I took
I
that
lit a kid's
super-
boxers on fire once, I think.
What?
while he was wearing
That's
No,
it.
I
assault.
didn't. I didn't. One of my friends lit my other
Oh,
friend's
yeah.
boxers on
Classic.
fire from behind.
Oh. Hey,
Classic
we're all friends
alibi.
here.
Yeah.
We're all friends.
So because weightlifting, like that was when you played football, you had to take weightlifting, and all the football kids were in the same class or whatever.
Yeah.
And so I took it like way more seriously than was warranted.
Did you play
you
football?
know? Did you guys know I play football?
No.
I play football.
I mean, I'm not surprised, but
Did you? I've joked about that before, haven't I? Yeah, I played football, but I didn't my senior year, and it was like I remember because I don't think that was like the perfect example of something I did because I thought everyone else wanted me to, or like would think it was cool or something like that, you know.
Uh-huh.
Like I don't think I ever really enjoyed it, partially because like I always hated running, and that is like a key component of football.
You know what's
especially in
funny?
practice.
Now that you say that, the only reason I didn't play football is because I was like into music, and it's like you don't play football if you're into music. Isn't that weird? So like
that's what I mean. That's
like
basically what happened to me. I started
sports
a band,
kind of like became my guilty pleasure.
like spectating them.
Yeah, like I don't want anyone to
Yeah.
know that I like sports because it would like ruin my reputation or whatever. So like one of my biggest regrets is that I didn't play high school football.
So I played
Just
up
such a
until my
weird thing.
junior year,
Like I could have been good.
and then you could have been something.
I was relatively athletic as a kid.
Yeah, and you're like very tall, and
Yeah, like
you
I
know,
was pretty good at baseball. Like I probably could have. I mean, I wasn't like gonna play in college or anything, but I could have been like a decent player on.
I wish
middle-
that's actually
middle
well.
league high
I wish
school
I had
football
played
team.
hockey in high school.
Oh yeah, that would have been.
But
amazing.
like I would have been actually pretty good at baseball, partially because everyone in New Mexico played baseball and nobody in Utah did.
Mm.
So like I was good compared to people in New Mexico, and so I would have been really
Yeah.
good compared to people here. You know.
Plus, you got that
But-
thin air.
Exactly. No, I guess just because there's a professional basketball team here, and there's not.
Mm.
There's a minor league baseball team too, but like the basketball kind of trumps it, so everyone plays basketball here. But yeah, so I basically quit football, and I remember like because I never like made a conscious decision to quit. It was just that summer I just never showed up for the first summer for conditioning.
Yeah.
The first day. And I remember people would like ask me like, "Hey, are you coming to football?" I still have dreams sometimes where I'm like, I showed up for football and like
I'm late for Hell
what
Week.
the heck am I doing? Yeah, exactly. I'm late for Hell Week. And but I remember it was so great during Hell Week thinking like, man, I was just like going to work at the record store, you know, and whatever, doing whatever other stupid. Oh no, actually I was a janitor at that point, and thinking about my stupid friends.
You're on your way up.
Yeah. And then at the games, I was just like, man, I'm so glad I'm just like here hanging out with all these freaking chicks in the stands instead of out on the field,
dude.
you know?
Dude.
But it was very much like I started a band, and then it was like, I'm not going to play
Yeah.
football. I'm in a band.
That's
Like,
so funny.
That's for kids who can't be in a band.
Although I went to a small high school, so there were several kids that I knew who like played in the band and also played football. So like they would do like halftime shows like in their football uniforms.
Dude, that's great. I think we had one or two of those.
No,
too.
there were several of them.
Yeah. That's pretty awesome.
It's
Can
really
you imagine that at like the college level?
I know.
That'd be great. Yeah, I do think back of like stuff that like I wish I'd just like given that a shot.
Yeah.
You know? Like, but it totally is. It falls into that category of like, nah, people won't think I'm cool, or that's not, you know.
Yeah, I think you're just very much more like compartmentalized. Like these are the things that
Yeah.
I'm into, and these are the things I'm not into,
Or you like come up
or
with
like we
reasons
are
to
into or
do it.
not into.
Like I honestly look back and think I don't know why I never played ice hockey because my older brother did. Which like the thing that keeps most people from playing hockey, well, first of all, they just don't even want to, but that's
Yeah.
the biggest thing. But like, it's also like expensive, and
Yeah.
you know, it's not like how many people are like, well, my dad played hockey, so I play now. You know, like that's just a very small group. But you're muted, Phil. But like, I actually had an example of somebody, my brother who was only 2 years older than me played.
The biggest thing is like the parents not pushing it. Right? It's
Totally. Like you have to.
Like, why are you not a Muslim? Because your parents are not a Muslim.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like,
you know?
Yeah.
yeah. And especially for something like hockey, like it takes a pretty big investment. I mean, it's like any kind of niche sport, you know? Like I had friends who played lacrosse, and it was like, you got to be way into lacrosse, and like their parents are probably way into lacrosse or whatever, you know?
There are the lacrosse teams around here are getting bigger and bigger. That seems to be like
Yeah,
popular.
hockey's growing in popularity too. Weirdly enough, just over the last couple of years. I don't know what it's attributed to. Maybe it's just cyclical, because it was big in the '90s, just because of
because of Mighty
rollerblade
Ducks.
culture was so huge, and then because the Mighty Ducks. Honestly, that was a huge part of it.
I think part of it now probably is like the NHL is making a conscious effort to be more like inclusive, and that probably trickles down some.
Yeah, and I think weirdly there is like a lot of people who got back into rollerblading this summer because they didn't have anything else they could do.
Sure.
It's the same thing with like skateboarding and
dude, I've been seeing people on like
of other
proper roller skates recently.
Yeah,
like 2x2s.
I see like all kinds of TikToks.
Like,
of
why are you doing
on
this?
roller skates at skate parks. Like there are people, and it's like roller derby. I think is a big part of it.
Oh, maybe
because a lot of it is like middle-aged women, and that's got to be driven largely by roller derby, I would think.
Yeah.
Yes, we do. Do you guys not have time?
I don't think we do.
Phil,
do we?
Hit us with a game.
We got like 5 or 10 minutes.
That's totally doable.
We got time. What do you have? Like an
Don't
appointment?
be horrible guessers.
Yeah, I do.
You got to go do dad things. Is that what you're saying, Aaron?
Yeah.
Oh, well, okay. Okay.
You wouldn't understand. You only have one child, Phil.
I don't.
Cole, you wouldn't understand. You don't have daughters. You don't have a daughter.
Dang it. Okay, Phil.
I was trying to think of a joke, but everything I was.
Don't you dare joke about my daughter on International Women's Day of all days.
Yeah, see, that's what. All right. Time for the everybody's favorite game, internationally known game.
How dare you?
Known as Guess That Pedal.
Okay, now we really don't have time.
Review.
Man.
Okay. This first review is by Anonymous 987456.
Anonymous.
This is a 5-star review titled No Issues, but I would recommend getting the power cord. Reviewed in the United States, August 21st, 2020. So, being stranded at home and bored, I bought a guitar. So this is definitely another pandemic review.
Pandemic, baby.
Yeah, pandemic.
So, being stranded at home and bored, I bought a guitar. Only song, quote unquote, I can play to this day is the Stewie Griffin chord song. Couldn't tell you if this is the greatest thing in the world or junk, but can say that the first one I ordered stopped working in almost no time. So I sent it back for a replacement, only to have that one stop working in almost no time. Thinking this was too much of a coincidence to such a highly rated product, I ordered the power adapter. Second one now works fine.
So was he buying it and it came with an included battery and then the battery was dying and he thought the pedal was dead?
I think that's what he's saying.
Oh, that's amazing.
Oh my gosh.
What an idiot. Is it a Boss pedal?
He's not an idiot. He's learning.
Is it a Boss standard or Waza?
This is a standard.
Was a Boss pedal.
Do you think this guy sounds like he'd buy a Waza pedal?
I think he sounds like he wouldn't know the difference between.
I'd love to think he bought like a Waza CE2 or whatever. He's just like going in full speed.
What color is it?
Orange.
Is it a DS1?
DS1?
It is.
No way. Dude bought a DS1. Oh, crap. Can you guys still hear me?
Yeah, we just can't see you.
Did you turn off your lights?
My monitor just turned off. Okay, keep going. I think it's only
Okay.
a monitor problem.
DS1. With Boss, if you know the color, it's pretty easy.
Exactly.
Right.
Which is, I was about to like stop you, but then I was like, yeah, we're kind of low on time anyways.
Yeah. Okay. This this next review is by Pablo. It is a 5-star review titled "Love It, Love It, Love It."
Okay.
Reviewed in the United States on January 30th, 2017. First thing my friend mentions about my sound is the effect name. Works great for effect and long, subtle effect to create a halo around the note. I'll just read it. The rate and depth control are great for creating a effect. For $150, it's a quality pedal, both in construction and sound. My dog knocked over a bucket of water on it. Long story. So I took it apart, dried it out, and put it back together. It worked the same ever since.
Wow.
4 people found this helpful.
Is it a Boss pedal?
No.
Is it a chorus pedal?
No.
Vibrato?
No.
Tremolo?
No.
Phaser?
Flanger?
No. No.
Delay?
Really? Depth and rate? Oh, is it a ring mod? Oh,
It's
it's a
a
delay?
modulated delay.
Oh, is it a
carbon copy?
Carbon copy does have that.
It is not a carbon copy.
Carbon copy does have them, but they're like trim pots.
Oh, okay.
And then it just has the button on the top.
$150. Is it a boutique brand?
$150 delay.
It has modulation. Oh, is it the Digitech Polara?
No.
Is it Digitech?
No.
Is it Electro Harmonics? No.
No.
Is it TC Electronic?
No.
Oh,
TC
flashback
Electronics?
doesn't have those controls. What color is it?
Not boutique?
It is blue. It is not boutique.
Is it a way huge?
It is
Aquapus?
not way
Oh, is it-
huge.
Rubberneck? Rubberneck?
No.
How many knobs does it have?
Oh, good one. Oh, crap. Now my keyboard isn't working. Stupid. I can't even cheat.
It has 5 knobs.
Is it
Is it
standard
like
pedal
rate,
size?
depth, speed,
If
repeats?
it's got rate and speed.
Kind of.
It does have rate and depth.
And then
and
it's like
level and
delay,
trails or something.
repeat, delay, feedback, something like that.
It has repeat, it has delay, and it has mix.
Okay.
How big is this pedal?
This is a standard enclosure.
Does it have 1 or
Change
2
the
foot
size.
switches?
1.
Is it like 3 and 2? The configuration of knobs?
You said it's blue?
Okay,
Or is
I'm
it like 2, 1,
going to
2?
tell- normally I would reject that question, but it is this because we're short on time.
like a
I'm going to
W?
tell you. It is sort of a W, but 2 of them are those itty bitty knobs,
yeah.
and then there's 3 big uns.
Crap.
It's not the. Is it the?
Is it Keeley?
No,
will tell
is
you
it
this.
is it the Vapor Trail from Seymour Duncan?
Oh my yes!
Yeah, dude. Good call.
You Google it.
I didn't.
No, dude.
There's no way. I was like, they're never gonna get this.
No, we've
How
talked
did
about
you?
that.
How
pedal
did you
before.
know that?
I just
Have we?
when
Yeah.
I went back and forth between that and a carbon copy for so long
Really?
and ended up not buying either one. But I think in my mind, it seems like a better version of the carbon copy.
Well, it's got more control.
It's not nearly as possible.
pretty-
I mean, as popular, but
A lot of people that have
It's
it
very
like
cool.
swear by it though.
yeah.
Okay,
And the cool thing is like the knob,
Yeah.
the rate knob, or this lights
the delay
up.
knob. The
The delay knob lights up, so
Weird.
it tells you like the speed of the repeats.
Tell me this. It has 3 jacks. So is that for freaking tap tempo?
I think it has an expression jack because it's a pure analog delay.
Okay.
So I think you can put an expression jack to like the rate or to the modulation or something.
Or is it stereo? It's not stereo.
No, it's not stereo.
Like stereo output.
No, I'm pretty sure it's an expression jack input. But that pedal has always seemed cool to me.
Wow.
And the name is cool. Vapor Trail.
Okay, the Vapor Trail gives you those classic tones, but with a TRS insert jack that lets you process the repeats. Through
Oh, that's right. It has
effects.
has an effects loop. Yeah, that's right.
Oh, that is my least favorite third jack option.
I mean,
Well,
it's pretty
it's like-
cool for a delay. I think it's cool.
It is
It's like a
cool, but I'd
cool
rather have a
option.
tap tempo before I had that.
Yeah, but it doesn't have any. It's not digital at all. It's an analog pedal.
Stop saying that like I care about that.
Well, you can't have the tap tempo without something to process the tap.
I can, Aaron.
You literally can't.
I
Not if the
literally
pedal
can.
isn't digital at all. You could have an analog delay with digital controls, but that's not what this is.
It's like this. Like the carbon copy didn't have tap tempo either for the same reason.
Yeah, neither does
But
the
the new one does.
DM2.
Because the new one they added a digital portion to it.
That's what I want. That one with a digital portion. I want a Vapor Trail with a digital portion.
Well, I'm
Give
telling
me
you
tap
why it
tempo.
doesn't have it.
With a digital.
Because there is no
Portion.
digital portion.
Stop saying digital portion like it's a thing.
he said digital portion, so I'm saying it.
It's a portion
digital
of
portion.
the pedal, of the pedal that is digital.
Give me a heaping portion of digital.
You've had enough digital portions.
This is a digital portion. It's just like finger-sized portion.
Listen,
Digitally
listen.
obese.
You cannot have your digital portion until you finish your vegetables.
All right, last
Um,
one.
Okay, last one. This is by David Kennedy. It's a 5-star
Yeah, I'm 2
review.
for 2.
Amazing
I was having technical difficulties.
amazing effect pedal, very versatile, and exceeded my expectations. Reviewed in the United States, November
Oh, you
15th,
froze. No, it's all right. You're good.
2020. I did?
No,
Am
you're
I
fine.
frozen?
You're fine. You're fine.
Okay. I've tried most of brand name effect pedals over the years and ended up parting with all of them. I much prefer their other effect pedals, which are almost always great. However, the pedal name caught my attention, and I'm amazed how much I like it. It really can be dialed in for any guitar and amp combination, and has very usable effect pedal effects settings through the 5 modes. Everything from this kind of effect description to this kind of effect description
Is it a Wampler Terraform?
to other
Is it a DD7?
effect description. It probably wouldn't be considered much more than a pedal description, but within the spectrum there are a lot of great tones. While it might lack the specificity and character of a lot of effects, that is actually the pedal name's greatest strength. Stacks well, comparatively quiet, great pedal.
Is it a delay pedal?
No,
Is it a Boss OD200?
no,
Is it a Boss pedal?
no,
Is it an overdrive pedal?
yes,
Is it a Strymon pedal?
no,
Is
Is
it
it an Electroharmonics?
no.
Is it like one with different voices, kind of?
I don't know.
Oh, it's not the bonsai.
No.
Is it JHS?
No.
But you know what I mean? Does it do something like that?
I don't know enough about this pedal to know if it does or not. And
does it have a rotary switch that lets you choose different modes?
Yes.
Okay.
It's a drive pedal. Standard size?
Yes.
How many
Is
knobs?
it the Earthquake or Dunes?
No. 6 knobs. Six
knobs. In a standard size?
Heck yeah, dude.
They're
I
small
kinda want
knobs?
this. Not super small.
Like regular size knobs?
Is it a Brothers?
It is not a Brothers.
Ooh.
1 or 2 foot switches?
One.
How much is it?
This seller is selling it for $199.
Okay.
99.
Is it a Friedman
No.
pedal?
It's a good guess. Is it boutique?
We would say yes.
Is it Keeley or
Not
it's
Keeley.
not Keeley?
Is it
Oh,
the
Ages.
Walrus Audio Ages?
Yes.
It is.
Stop Googling.
I didn't. I was just trying to think of like recent overdrives from boutique
Yeah.
pedals companies.
Yeah. Ages.
Oh, and that one does have like, I know it has like kind of like vintage or modern or whatever. Right? Maybe I'm
Mhm.
off.
I
So it
kind of
does,
want
like-
one.
Yeah, it does look cool.
Yeah, I've heard that. What
So
I've
what are
heard
the
of it is
modes?
cool.
Okay, so the modes.
Oh, it has
this
5
description,
modes.
This description is saying that it goes low gain mode, low gain mode. Oh, low gain mode with symmetric silicone soft clipping, low gain mode with symmetric LED soft clipping, high gain mode with symmetric silicone soft clipping, high gain mode with symmetric LED soft clipping, and high gain mode with symmetric silicone hard clipping.
So
Okay.
why do they say symmetric on every one of them if they're all symmetric?
I think just so you don't think any of them are asymmetrical.
Okay.
Yeah, cool.
That is a very common like switch setting on gain pedals to let you choose between symmetrical. and
Yeah,
asymmetrical.
it was interesting that I kept expecting one of them to be asymmetric.
Yeah. I was just waiting for that asymmetrical one.
It could just say all symmetric, silicon soft, LED soft. Oh, but they're all soft
okay.
clipping except the one too. Interesting.
Yeah.
Except the one.
I like
Except the
hard
one, too.
clipping.
I do too, but it is very specific. Like
Yeah.
it's not
Did you guys
as
know that
popular.
Walrus made a double pedal, the war horn and the ages?
I've seen that. Is it like actually available?
Well, there's one on freaking Reverb.
Yeah, but
But I mean, is it like oh, so it's from the pedal movie exclusive.
Oh, really?
This one is at least.
Have you guys seen that yet?
No,
That's a movie that came out,
I
right?
guess. I mean, I assume.
What is it? What?
It's called Pedal
The
Movie.
pedal movie.
Oh, I feel bad.
Oh,
that
I think
don't-
Reverb made that, right? Like they kind of produced it or whatever.
Should we know about this?
It was like a thing people were talking about not too long ago.
Was it like during Black Lives Matter when I didn't care about anything else?
Probably. Hasn't been released yet, but you can watch the trailer
Oh.
on it's a documentary.
Ooh, Aaron, did you ever see that Jesus movie starring Obi-Wan Kenobi?
No, I don't know what you're
We
talking
should
about.
watch that. We should watch that movie.
Starring Obi-Wan Kenobi
Yeah. Ewan McGregor.
in a Jesus movie?
Yeah.
What's it called?
I don't know. It's called.
Last Days in the
Okay, I'm
Desert?
looking up the pedal movie. It says Reverb's first ever full length
Yeah.
feature film. It's like, yeah, obviously.
Yeah, I
Like,
know.
Reverb's
We know.
not a film studio.
Yeah.
Why would they have ever had a full length feature film before?
Why
I
would
mean,
they
have one now.
have a short length feature film?
Yeah, exactly.
So
Like
dumb.
we had a lot of animated shorts in the past.
We had a web series. I guess they kind of do have a web series. No.
Yeah, they do. Our web series is those are good
Series.
good guesses from me. I got all three of them.
You're
I
just
was very
Good
proud of
guesses
myself.
from me.
thought you were gonna say. I thought you were gonna say those are good pedals, and I was gonna say that's just because you guessed them all right, and then you flipped the script on me.
Just straight up.
Got
Those
out
are,
ahead of it.
I am good at this game.
They were good
everyone.
reviews too, though. They were good reviews. I liked them.
Thank you.
I like the honesty of the guy that's like, I don't know what the heck I'm doing, and the only song I can play is from Family Guy. Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
Like, yeah, I respect that.
Super respect it.
Well,
Crew, that was fun. Hope you guys enjoyed listening to this more than we enjoyed recording it, because that would make you very happy.
Mm.
at least as much.
At least as much.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And thanks for friendship.
Thanks for friendship.
Thanks for friendship. We kind of hit a wall there, guys.
Right at the end.